23rd, 2024 voting meeting of the Exeter Township School Board. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Fike, could you take roll call, please?
Jason Mell.
Here.
Julia Schaefer.
Here.
Deborah Bloom.
Here.
Dr. Andrea Battler.
Here.
John Fiddler.
Here.
Dr. Ann Herring.
Present.
Timothy Morgan.
Present.
Travis Odom.
Here.
Allison Wilson.
Here.
All present.
Thank you, Mr. Fike. In addition to the 9 board members in attendance this evening, we're also joined at the board table by our solicitor, Sharon Montaigne, and members of the school district administration, including Dr. Christy Haller, Superintendent, Mrs. Dawn Harris, Assistant Superintendent, Mrs. Diane Skornovaki, Director of Human Resources, and Mr. Brian Fike, who serves as our Business Administrator and Board Secretary. Okay, next, there are no amendments to tonight's agenda. And moving along for my President's report, I just need to announce that the Personnel Committee met in executive session on Tuesday, January 11th to discuss personnel. The board also met in executive session prior to this voting meeting to discuss personnel. Next is Superintendent's report with Dr. Haller.
Thank you, Mr. Mell. Good evening, everyone. I'd just like to say a couple words about the importance of January in a school district because it is the month in which we recognize our school directors. As you can see, we have 9 school directors who are elected officials sitting with us here this evening. Some people may think that this is a position in which people are paid for, and it's not. It's a labor of love, and I will say that it takes a great amount of time for someone to be part of a school board. To be a good school board member, you need to be aware of policy. You need to do your homework, you need to do your research, you need to attend meetings. And I feel very fortunate here in Exeter that we have 9 school board members who are very dedicated to doing that for the sole purpose of ensuring that Exeter is a wonderful place for our staff to work and for our students to come every day and learn. So thank you for everything that we do, and as a little token of our gratitude to all of you, our Public Relations Director, Jen Breton, put together a little bit of a thank you.
School Board, thank you for everything that you do to make Exeter Township High School a great place. We know it takes a lot of work to understand all the issues, but everything that you do supports kids and teachers. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Exeter School Board.
Thank you, Exeter School Board.
On behalf of the faculty and staff at Lorraine Elementary School, I just wanted to say thank you to the school board for your leadership and service to the Exeter Township School District. I know I'm relatively new here, but it's been a pleasure to be a part of the team. This is a really special place, and in large part to the efforts and leadership of you, the school board. So thank you very much for all that you do.
Thank you.
Hey, school board, from Watton Creek, thank you for your hard work and your support that you give us throughout the district and here at Watton Creek.
Thank you.
Thank you, School Board, for all you do.
Thank you, Exeter School Board.
Thank you, Exeter School Board.
From all of us at Jacksonville, thank you to the Exeter School Board for always having a feel for what our schools and community need. Happy School Board Appreciation Month.
Thank you. Thank you, Exeter School Board.
From all of us at Rifton, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Exeter School Board. Thank you, Exeter School Board. Thank you.
From all of us at Rifton, we appreciate everything that you do to make our school great. Happy School Board Appreciation Month. Thank you.
Thank you, Exeter School Board.
Thank you, Exeter School Board.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Exeter School Board.
On behalf of all of us here at the Exeter Junior High School, I'd like to wish all of our Exeter Township School Board members a great School Board Appreciation Month. As someone who's been in education as long as I have, particularly in administration, I certainly know the work that goes on behind the scenes by the members of the school board, those who, such as students who really may not know that kind of work. It's tremendous work. You're the voice for the community to make sure that all of our students and our teachers are able to give the best education possible and for the students to receive the best education possible. So thank you for that. Thank you for all your support, and it's well deserved.
Thank you so much for all you do for us.
Thank you, Dr. Haller. That was a really nice video. Thank you for that. Moving on to public comments on agenda items. No one has signed up. So next is board meeting minutes. If there are no objections, we'll adopt a motion to approve meeting minutes from last month's board meetings, the December 7, 2023 board reorganization meeting and committee of the whole meeting, as well as the December 19, 2023 board voting meeting. Hearing no objections, the minutes are approved. Treasurer's report and payment requests. If there are no objections, we'll adopt a motion to approve the December 2023 Treasurer's report and payment request dated December 20th to January 23rd, 2024. Hearing no objections, the Treasurer's report and payment requests are approved. Moving on to committees, Education Committee with Dr. Badler.
Thank you, Mr. Mel. The first step is the enrollment report, just public comment for the district monthly board report and the out-of-district monthly board report. No questions there. It is reported that the field trips below within the 60-mile radius have been approved. There have been quite a few added. If there's no questions, moving on. It is recommended that the Board of School Directors approves the early graduation requests in January 2024 for students 876-2324 and 877-2324 per district policy 217.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carries.
Okay. Moving on to the committee consent agenda. Items 1 through 6, I'll be taking out number 2. It is recommended that the Board of School Directors approves the following education committee items. Items 1, field trips, 3, work agreement, 4, tuition agreement, 5, tuition agreement, 6, the agreement between Chester County IU.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carries.
Now for number 2, it is recommended that the Board of School Directors approves the following education committee items. The staff conferences listed below. There have been some added.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carries.
That's all for me, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Dr. Badler. Mrs. Wilson with Personnel Committee.
Yes, we have a Personnel Committee consent agenda tonight. Anything in bold has been added since our Committee of the Whole meeting. So it is recommended that the Board of School Directors approves or ratifies the following personnel items, 1 through 7.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
I just want to congratulate our retirees. We have 1, 2, 3 retirees on here with together almost 100 years of service. That's pretty fantastic. Wish them well as they finish their year out.
Yep, I was going to bring that up, but yes, that's awesome. Yep, no, it's fine. And Mrs. Gaetani from Lorraine, first grade for 35 years. I was honored I got to teach with her a couple of years back in the day. And then Mr. Keebler from the high school, one of my son's favorite teachers.
Could I just, I'm going to embarrass Lowell even though he's not here. He submitted his letter of retirement in the form of a poem. So, yes, it was very impressive. I don't have it on me, but he was also one of my daughter's teachers, and I will miss him very much. And I told him he should come back and sub as an English teacher, but he told me no. So.
I also want to thank Mrs. Del Elmo because she has been here a very long time, and she has worked with so many students across our buildings throughout the years. And then I do not know Mrs. Wyke, but congratulations to her for her 14 years of service as well. So thank you to all of our retirees. That's it.
Okay, any other discussion? All right. Hearing none, all those in, oh, okay, sorry, I saw you, I saw you nod your head over. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Okay, Finance and Audit Committee, Mr. Morgan.
Okay, we have one item up. It is recommended that the Board of School Directors approves the following finance and audit items. Number 1, for the school board, approve the statewide recovery contract addendums. Number 2, is recommended the Board of School Directors approve the Tompkins Community Bank. Actually, you know what, I'm going to pull out number 2 and just do number 1. So recommended the Board of School Directors approves the following finance and audit items. Number 1.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries.
It is recommended the Board of School Directors approves the following finance and audit items. Number 2, it is recommended the Board of School Directors approve Tompkins Bank Community per the Business Administrator.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Yes, Mr. Fike, could you tell us a little more about this?
Well, actually, I was going to ask you to table the motion because I did not get the resolution from the bank. They were closed on Friday with the weather.
Okay.
So, and it's something we can still wait to next month.
And Mr. Fike, I know last in the committee of the whole meeting, we had talked about proposals or bringing proposals of various banks. Is that something that we could still do?
Yes.
Okay.
I
I think
had
that would be good information just so the
two
board.
other incomplete, which I didn't have the rest of the information.
Okay.
Snow with on Friday, so.
Okay. Thank you.
It's
Mr.
up
Mel,
to
based
Mrs.
on-
Wilson to revoke her second.
Yeah, based on that, I'd like to withdraw my motion.
Yes. And do we have a motion to table?
Yeah.
You don't need a motion to table if these withdrawing.
Fantastic.
All right, I
All
make
right.
a
Thank
recommendation
you.
that we table it.
Thank you for that recommendation,
You're welcome.
Mr. Morgan.
You should have a second for, if you're going to table it, then.
Second.
Second, and then all in favor.
Oh, so we do need a motion to table then.
If you're tabling, I thought you were withdrawing it, which is different, so.
So I withdrew the motion to approve.
Okay, then you don't need a motion to table.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect. So what do we?
So that was a recommendation.
We're done.
We're just going to
We're
stick
just
with that.
recommending. That's
Okay,
it.
thank you. All right. Fantastic. All right, is there anything else, Mr. Morgan?
I think that's it for now.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to Policy Committee with Dr. Hearing. Mr. Fiddler doesn't have anything, but
I
would
have
you?
nothing. If you want me to sing a song, I could do that, but.
Maybe
I don't
later?
think so.
That'd be
Okay.
great.
That'd be
Thanks.
fine.
Policy Committee with Dr. Hearing.
Thank you, Mr. Mel. It is recommended that the Board of School Directors approves the following policies for first reading: policy number 005 and policy number 006.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? I do have one clarification, because I think at last meeting, there was mention of moving into a second reading, but based on, I guess, what our past practice was, we approved the first reading, and now we'll see the second reading at the February CAL. Is that right? Okay, thank you. Yeah, okay, I just wanted to make sure that was clarified. Okay, thank you. And that was the only discussion point I had. Anybody have any other discussion? Okay. Let's see here. So all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. And moving on to Athletics and Extracurricular Activities Committee, Mr. Odom.
Thank you, Mr. Mail. So the report that I got from Tom Legath, the AD, all the sports, winter sports are doing good so far. Boys basketball, girls basketball, wrestling, boys bowling, and girls bowling are all looking to qualify for Berks County and District 3 playoffs. Cheerleading is competing for the PIAA championships on Friday and Saturday, so we wish them the best of luck. With that, I'm going to turn over to Mr. Morgan real quick, and he has a few comments.
Mr. Mel, if you don't mind.
Not at all, Mr. Morgan, please.
I actually
welcome more recommendations.
I actually just wanted to highlight the girls' wrestling team. I've been following them pretty closely, as you guys are all aware. They have been they're self-funded right now, working towards the time when they can come up to us and try to get approval as a certified club here in the district. For those of you who don't know, this is the first year that the PIAA has recognized it as a sport, so they can officially be competitive this year. And they did compete last week, 2 weeks ago, in the first BCIAA county tournament for Berks County, and they had 3 second-place finishes and 1 third-place finish. So they are really doing fantastic. Their program's growing, and it's exciting to see them continue to progress.
That's great. Thank you for sharing that. Anything else, Mr. Odom? Okay, thank you. Exeter Community Education Foundation, Mrs. Schaefer.
Thank you, Mr. Mel. ECEF would like to thank Customers Bank for their $5,000 donation and Mid-Ped Bank for their $3,000 donation through the state's EITC program. Both banks have been long-term supporters of the foundation, and we are very appreciative of their generosity. Big thanks to the Wawa Foundation for their $1,500 grant to go towards a second Stepping Up for Student sneaker event through the Foundation's Student Outreach Program. We are looking forward to putting this event together for later in 2024. Make sure you mark your calendars and save the date for Friday, May 31st. We are hard at work preparing for our 3rd annual Food Truck Festival at the senior high school. More details will be added to the ECEF Facebook page and website as we continue planning. That is all.
Thank you, Mrs. Schaefer. BCTC Joint Operating Committee and BCIU Board of Directors, Mr. Fiddler.
Thank you, Mr. Mel. Tomorrow will be the first meeting of the Berks Career and Technology Center Joint Operating Committee for this year. And I'm looking forward specifically to a presentation by their Michael Stein, who has been leading the charge using AI, artificial intelligence. He's spoken at national conferences, he's spoken at state conferences, and Dr. Stauffer, the executive director, said that he will be available to any of the 16 sending districts to come and speak about AI. So I'm very much looking forward to hearing what he has to say tomorrow. And of course, as always, I'm looking forward to the gourmet dinner that we received from the culinary students. BCIU had its first meeting last week, and I sent to the board several items just today. I think it's worth mentioning that we did pass the operating budget for the year, and that budget will be coming, I believe, to you, Brian. We must approve it here by April. So this is usually, the same thing happens every year, I think, on the same schedule. So that's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Fiddler.
Thank you.
Legislative PSBA Liaison, Dr. Hearing.
Thank you, Mr. Mel. I just want to share that last week PSBA presented testimony to the House Education Committee on issues related to student mental health needs. The representative offered 3 key points that were important. Shortage of qualified mental health care service providers, schools needing additional resources, as well as state funding to continue to flow directly to schools. This is a very important topic to me, so I thought it was good to share with the board. One thing that was presented as a House bill that I thought was interesting was a recommendation of student ID cards having the telephone hotline number for suicide prevention. I thought that was a really good idea. And that's everything. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Hearing. Township Borough Liaison, Mr. Morgan.
Thank you, Mr. Mull. I do have 2 things. The first one is I did speak to an Exeter resident this week who has expressed interest on perhaps us looking into putting some signage up on Perkiomen Avenue that would be a little bit easier to identify where our campus was located. If you remember, this was brought up by former board member Bob Quinter. We had looked into it. There was some things that were in the way, and we were going to get back to it. So I have vowed to the resident that I will reach out to the township just to see what our options are. I don't think it's a bad idea. I think it would certainly help to help with location identification and all that. But we're going to reach out to the township and see what we can find out.
So Bob Quinter, former board member Bob Quinter, did bring this up to the board prior to leaving and then followed up with an email. I did speak to Larry Pearsall. He's been amazing. And it is my understanding that the sign that was proposed is not acceptable by PennDOT. It's too big and it'll block the ability for people when they go to pull out. So these are my words. It sounds as though it's hazardous and why it's not permitted. In order to put some type of signage there, what Mr. Pearsall shared with me is with the new hardscape that the township has put in place, there is the ability to add flags and that we could look into doing something like that. So we talked to, when I talked to Larry Pearsall, that was back in December, right before the holiday break, and we will be following back up with him. But as far as I'm aware, unless there is a change from PennDOT, that is not going to be permissible.
Perfect. Thank you. And then the second thing is, for those of you that aren't aware, the township did announce that PUC with Pennsylvania American Water has announced that they are going to be having public hearings for the public to be heard regarding the rates for the water. There are 3 opportunities that the public can be heard. The first one is on next Wednesday, the 31st, and that's at 1 p.m. at the Dunn Center. And then there are 2 telephone opportunities, one on February 6th and one on February 7th at 1 p.m. and 6 p.m. where you can be heard. Anybody can attend the meeting, but in order to be heard, you have to actually be accessing their service, is my understanding. And in order to be heard, you would need to fill out the pre-registration. I think I got all that right, correct?
You did, yep.
Okay,
Good job.
perfect.
Thank you.
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Morgan. Next it's going to be public comments for non-agenda items, but no one has signed up. Are there any board members that would like to be heard at this time? Okay. So our next meeting will be the Committee of the Whole meeting on Tuesday, February 6th at 6 p.m. There will also be an executive session immediately following the adjournment of this meeting to discuss personnel. If there are no objections, we'll adjourn the